let me know. Okay, so we're going live.
It's live.
We are live. So make sure
Hello,
that.
everyone.
All right. So we're on. We have.
Yep, I can see the stream.
All right. So we have anybody joining in yet? Probably gonna take a few minutes.
Hello, Daniel. It's guys.
Yeah, I cannot take full credit for that, to be honest with you. What is this? There's a saying that goes, imitation is like the greatest form of flattery, or something like that. Um, you know, so yeah, I took that from someone, and I guess it seems to work. I think the people like it.
What are you talking about? I always thought that was your idea. Every time I see your video and I hear you saying that, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so funny.
Okay, fine. It's my original idea. And disregard everything else that I said for the past 30 seconds. um, all right. Well, I mean, so we're on. So thanks, Patrick, for taking the time and being here on the live. And I think today we're going to touch on a topic that I think is on everyone's mind. And at some point or another, it's been, impacting, everybody that's been selling on Facebook shops, right? And that is slow sales. And am I out of focus again? Jeez. Oh, okay.
The camera doesn't like you.
It doesn't like me today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we need to
Maybe
keep.
come closer, maybe zoom in yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes it seems to autofocus. This is what happens when you go live. All the things happen live, not when it's pre-recorded. There
This
we
is all
go.
scripted, guys. We planned this.
Okay, so we're
There you
back
go.
in we're back in focus now. All right, so like I was saying, so there's been a lot of different issues. One of them being slow sales, and I think it's a very good topic to cover today. And I think we've come up with some solutions, and also kind of some topics that we want to discuss, because you know everyone has different goals, everyone has different expectations when it comes to sales, right? It's a very difficult thing to put your finger on. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Patrick? I mean, when it comes to sales, everybody has different goals and expectations. I mean, I'm sure you have
Yep.
different ones than I do. um, any thoughts on that?
Yes. Like, look, so someone might want to make 1,000 a month. Someone wants to make 10,000 a month. So everyone has a different expectations, a different sales goals. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. Like everyone has different goals.
Exactly. So, I think sometimes, we kind of get a little bit bent out of shape about, oh my God, this week I only got, 10 sales, right? And it's just a matter of kind of, looking inside and trying to figure out, okay, what things can I do better, so that, we don't come across this problem. But I also think that there's many other factors that are outside of our control, to be honest with you. As much as we want to put a finger on it and say this is the issue why I'm having slow sales, some of it's something that is in part being caused by Facebook. I mean, they are a new platform. They are a social media platform first, and now they've kind of dive into as a selling marketplace. So there's a lot of things that we're still trying to figure out, and see how we can move through these things and make things better as a whole, so that we can be successful. So I'm gonna share my screen now, for a brief moment, because there is a presentation that I kind of put together and wanted to share with you guys.
It's a game plan.
As a game plan.
How to win Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. So let me go to sharing mode. No, no presentation mode. Let's see. Done. Let's try. There we go. Right. So, slow sales and, how bad can it get, Patrick? Honestly. How bad can this get? Are we at the worst? Do we hit the bottom? Like if you look at the crypto markets, right now we're thinking that we're hitting the bottom. Are we hitting the bottom here with the slow sales?
Daniel, your screen is not visible on the stream. I can see your background, but not the presentation.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Make sure to share on Zoom. Share your screen on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now. Do you guys see it?
No, the Zoom's disappeared completely.
All right, let's try again. This is an issue.
As you guys can say, we are totally pro with live streams here, so we know what we're doing. Total professional. Now I can see. Now we can see it.
Now you can see it. Okay, sorry about that.
But now it's gone again.
How about now?
It's gone. When you moved it, when you did something, and it like.
Okay, I'm trying. Okay, let's.
You know what? I think we can maybe just open the presentation so you have your notes on. But I think we can just talk about it. It's fine. We don't need it. But you can see us like we are gone.
You guys are gone too. I mean, we're gone. How about now?
I'll open the OBS. Here we go. Okay, now we can see it. Now we can see it. Yep. Now it's good.
We're back. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, guys, for technical difficulties.
All right.
And by the way, leave us questions. Ask us questions if you have anything about the process. We're gonna go over how to. You did something again and it's gone. Whenever you move the thing, it's gone. But yeah, leave us questions. In the meantime, we're gonna fight with the computer. Now we can see the presentation. Yeah, but feel free to ask us questions, and we'll answer them during the live. And if you're watching this right now, don't forget to like it for Daniel.
All right, so all these hiccups aside, so we can see the presentation now. Okay.
We can see the presentation now, yes.
All right, so I guess the first thing we want to kind of discuss is, maybe, possible causes as to, what's going on that might be, contributing to the slow sales, right? So I think there's a lot of factors at play here. There's a combination of, your products, who are you sourcing from, what products are you listing? That's kind of one of the almost obvious ones. And also price, right? I think from my personal experience, listing on my shops, I found that, over the last, few months, the products priced kind of in that, lower tier, like, below $50 have, tend to do well and so often, at least in my case. So, right now with everything that's happening, just in general, we are not doing the best economic times. People are looking for value, and they're looking for those items that are essential, right? Things that people need right now. A lot of the things that normally you would buy maybe a year ago. Like gadgets. Things that are kind of impulse splurge. Purchases might not be doing well right now. So if you look at your catalog and you see some of these items are the majority of what you're selling, then that could be a cause. Patrick, any thoughts on that and any other inputs you may have aside for the ones I mentioned?
I mean, I think the truth is that it's not one thing that causing the slowdown. Like summer is always slow. That's the I'm gonna start with very basic stuff and then kind of move on to something that people want to hear probably. So the summer is always slow. That's like the data will show you that. If you look in any data in like Statista or something, you can find this information about e-commerce or retail in general. You will see that summer is always the slowest months, like June, July, May, August, even September sometimes. Those are really slow months. Like that's one thing. That doesn't mean that you cannot make money. You can just sell product that people buy during this time and probably still make some money. But that's one thing. Another thing is, as you mentioned, I think that's going on the fear of recession and inflation and all of that. Uh, the more I learn about the recession and inflation, it seems like there are a lot of factors going on. It seems like people just make decisions on because inflation, like the products that we sell as dropshippers, the price didn't really skyrocket. Like they are still relatively the same price, but what this skyrocket is like gas, food, like all the necessary stuff. And I think people just make decisions. Hey, do I buy I don't know, Alexa, or do I go and get gas for work because I need to make money? So people just make different purchase decisions right now because they have less income to spend on like extra goods. And then the last thing that's happening, I think it's something going on with Facebook itself. This is not the Facebook, as you mentioned earlier, this is not the Facebook that we had last year. This is a completely different beast. And I don't know what's going on, but my views and sales on all like shops that I have dropped down for sure. They go up and down constantly, but recently it's just been kind of slow period, and it's weird. It's really weird, and it's a tough position to be in right now. But I think there are ways to kind of trick the system and still make this profitable. It might not just be as profitable as usual, just because of the situation we are economically right now. But there are still ways to do it. There are still ways to do it, and I think there's also a lot of misconceptions around this whole sales situation as well. I'm a member of like a bunch of different Facebook groups about dropshipping and all of that, and they are great. But I think there's also there is a downside to them too, because anyone can say anything, and usually the people that are the loudest make a lot of noise, and people think that they are right, but that's not always the case. Like, it's not always the case that someone will say, "Oh, Facebook is dead," blah blah blah, and all of that. There's always a way. There's always a way to fight it. There's always a way to like win. There are alternatives. There's always some sort of situation you can get out and figure this out. Yeah, I think those are my 2 cents on this topic.
Yeah, and actually, you kind of give a little sneak peek into, we are going to touch on, later on in the live, into some things that we would kind of, recommend for you to consider that might help you to, be in a better position, if you're having the slow sales issue. But I mean, you're absolutely right, Patrick, with everything that you've mentioned. I think the biggest one is really just Facebook in general. I mean, we can kind of talk about the other stuff, the products or the prices, or just the economic condition, which I think it's a big one in my opinion. But yeah, just figuring out Facebook itself, and why is it that you can have multiple shops and all of your shops do not perform the same way. Like, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And until we know more from Facebook, hopefully at some point in time, we're gonna continue to scratch our heads and try to figure out why does the Facebook shop itself, and then and the marketplace in general, why don't they behave similar to other online marketplaces and platforms? Right? It's not the same. Um, so yeah, guys. I mean, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down, in the comment section. We'll review them or answer them as we do go along. So I guess the other thing I also kind of wanted to talk about was kind of, myth, versus, reality, when it comes to drop shipping and to sales, right? So, you know, for the most part, I think there might be a misconception that people think that this is very easy. And although that may be true, you know, there are some things that are a bit challenging, and can be hard. And especially if you've never done this before, and if it's your first time just selling online in general, um, you're not going to get, hundreds of sales, the first, few days, or the first few weeks, right? It does take a lot of, time and effort. It does take, a lot of research, a lot of learning from others who've already done this, themselves. So, sometimes I think people get lost in the, what someone else is doing, and they want to replicate those same results. And sometimes you kind of have to, kind of temper, expectations, and just know that with time you will get there, right? Um, so, Patrick, I'm sure when you first started out, drop shipping, it wasn't always as easy, and it wasn't always, you were getting hundreds of sales, every single day. I think it's also cyclical, and I think we are seeing that with Facebook as well. You kind of get a bump in sales, things are going well, and then you kind of get a decline, and you kind of, doing this up and down motion. I mean, I've been seeing this in my shops myself. I'm sure part of you have as well.
Yeah, it's for sure cyclical. That there are cycles. I think something that everyone should kind of focus on is like the perspective, like zoom out sometimes, zoom out your sales. If you track your sales, which you should do probably, have some sort of graph to like visualize your goals and your results. And that's very important thing, because once you do that, once you have this zoom out image and you see what's going on like a graph, Excel graph, Google Sheets graph, whatever, you can see that like, hey, this month I make that much money, and this month I make, way less. Like what's going to happen is you're going to see a bunch of bars. Some of these bars are going to be really high, and some of them are going to be very low. And there might be a lot of low bars, but then let's say in Q4, for example, you're going to have really high bars, which will make most of your income for the whole year. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's no linear path in this business model. In any business, like a lot of businesses go through cycles. It's not special to what we do. It's this is the path of entrepreneurship. Like it's not a straight line. It's a zigzag. Sometimes you get really high zigzags. Sometimes you get very low zigzags. Sometimes you get low zigzags for a very long time, and then one day just one big spikes, and boom, that one big spike might be enough to compensate for the slow months, and etc. So and regarding Facebook being easy, I think drop shipping, at least the model we are doing, like the marketplace one, it's easy to start, hard to master. Like anyone can just copy pictures and post them on any marketplace and wait for sale. That's not really that complicated, but I think it's hard to master in the sense that like scaling is hard. Trying to stay under the radar of suppliers and Facebook and eBay, whatever. Like trying to follow their policies. Remember, when you sell on marketplace, you kind of have to be a good boy or a good girl. You can mess around, because you are on the mercy of the marketplace owner. In this case, it's Facebook. So you can't mess with Facebook. You have to listen to Daddy Zuckerberg and follow his rules, because otherwise you will get shut down. And they are very strict. Daddy Zuckerberg is a very strict person, and he doesn't like people that mess around on his platform. So that's the hard part: scaling, having more sales, being obedient, following the rules, not messing around. That's the hard part.
Exactly. And all great points you touched on there, and I kind of want to bring our nice smiling faces back into the screen. I know we were sharing the power slide for
Oh yeah, now we're back.
yeah for a bit, so trying to make this a little bit more livelier. But yeah, all those points you touched on, I completely agree, and that's a big misconception. I think sometimes that you like the whole slow sell thing could be also something just because you're starting out, you're new, and you're still figuring things out, right? It's not necessarily mean that there's something else at play. But with Facebook, we know that there's always something at play with Facebook. So I guess the other thing I wanted to touch on with you, Patrick, is the fact that sometimes people think that this might be like totally passive, right? That there's really very low effort required, and so if you just put in the bare minimum and just build some automation, that automatically all the sales are going to start rolling in. And that might be true if you really know what you're doing, you're executing correctly, you'll know exactly, what to do, that may be the case. But, sometimes that may not be. And maybe sometimes people fall into that trap where they think they can just, pick up a couple products here and there, use some software, and then everything is going to be ready to go, and we're just going to be making tons of money. And that's not always the case. With that, there's a lot of effort and work that goes into it. So although automation is great, don't get me wrong, if you know how to utilize it and have good systems in place, then I think you're fine. Which kind of takes me to my next point, Patrick. So I think that having good systems in place as a dropshipper is so important and key to your success, just dropshipping in general. So I have my systems. I'm sure you do as well, Patrick. So I guess what advice would you have for people who are having those so issue as it relates to kind of building systems if we haven't already done so? Like, what have you seen from your end that you think has helped you, even during times when sales are great and even when sales are slow? Do you have anything I guess you can share as far as what systems you think have helped you?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about systems in a minute, but I want to go back to that previous point you had, and I think this is going to be related to systems too. I think what I've been seeing, and this can apply to dropshipping, and this can apply to your life. This can apply to business, building YouTube channel, whatever, anything. I think the people that are usually the most successful in, and like let's focus on dropshipping. I'm going to use it as a dropshipping example, but again, this can be applied to anything. The dropshippers, you and I, we both know pretty much that we are around the same circles. We know the same dropshippers. We know the same people. Usually, the ones that I notice are the most successful are the ones that are the most consistent. Like if they constantly they have a schedule, like, hey, I got at least I don't know 10 listings a day or something, or 20, whatever, they usually do fine. If they have a schedule like scaling up, like let's say every month I'm going to add a shop or something, they can, that's another sales channel they can utilize. And they suffer this month because it takes about a month to get approved, enable, whatever, to get a shop. But they do it. They just do it, and they consistently open one every month or whatever, and that opens doors to extra sales. So my point is, if this is the biggest advice ever, I guess, be consistent. Like create some sort of plan. If every day, let's say, I don't know, we wake up and for an hour you list 10 listings, or maybe you don't have time in the morning, do it every evening or something. You can just spend as little as an hour a day or something, or 2 hours for this whole dropshipping thing. And if you stay focused, like you turn off YouTube, turn off all the distractions, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, you can do it. Within the 2 hours you can manage this whole thing, schedule it out in a way that's really cool and works out. And every day just add a little percentages to this business, and you will do great. Like consistency, I think that's the major trait of this model and entrepreneurships and all of that. Just stay consistent, small steps every day, 1% better every day. It all adds up, and I think that's the way. That's the way to go.
So I guess what would you say to those people who are now like saying that, hey, you know what, Facebook shops, Facebook just in general, drop shipping is dead. There's just no traction happening. There's definitely the sales stink. Although the argument is always that, hey, the margins are amazing, and I think you can't beat that if you compare it to any other marketplace. But for the ones who are saying that, hey, you know what, this is not for me, drop shipping is dead on Facebook. Do they? Do you think there is some truth in what they're saying, just based on what we're seeing right now with such a bad, sales for most drop shippers? Well, I would say drop shippers, but I think, Patrick, you have some friends who are in the reseller side of things, and I think they have also said that have been seeing some slow sales and they're not drop shipping. So can the argument be made that there's some truth in that? I mean, it's not good for us, but is drop shipping heading that way on Facebook? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think there is something going on with Facebook for sure. There is, I don't know if it's their backend or whatever it is. There is something going on with the views on Facebook. Not sure what it is, and I have like a direct solution to this, and more broad solution, I guess. The direct solution would be, if you want to do Facebook dropshipping, right? And you are experiencing low sales. Look, I'm in the same boat too. Like, I'm experiencing this too. It's not just like it's just certain people. I think a lot of people are affected by this, and I'm one of them. And I'm always tinkering. I'm always trying to find a way. Always, trying to find a solution to this issue. Try to play with the images, titles, whatever, products. Blame economy. Figure out it's not economy. Then change my mind. Maybe it's again economy. Then try to find products that sell well in a good economy. Do research. I'm always tinkering. I'm always trying to play around. And I think that's one of the traits that you should have. Like, try to figure this out, try to solve this issue. Okay. So I guess that was my bad solution, to like not give up, trying to fix the issue, not complain on the issue. Okay. And then the direct solution, I think, to the problem with Facebook currently is to having more accounts. I know like some people might not like it, but think about it. If you have one account, right, that one account is experiencing slow sales right now, and you're getting 2 to 5 sales a day, it might be not enough. But if you have 5 accounts like that gets 2 to 5 sales every day, and you connect them, like, it might adds up. The income might adds up. It might make sense. It might be more reasonable. Okay, like, I know it's annoying to manage multiple shops or multiple Facebook accounts, but there will be like a direct solution to this issue. I think one of the direct solutions to this issue. But for like the broader solution, there are a few things. I think one of them is your image. I always try to pick clickbaity image, real life usage image. These things, I don't know, like they for sure improve and help. Okay. Titles, I always try to pick the main keywords, and I always try to follow their rules with 65 characters. I don't know. I find that the titles that are shorter usually works better. That's another, like, a broader solution. I'm not saying this is going to necessarily help you fix this situation with low views, but it's definitely a step. Optimization can improve views and sales. I play with the ads on Facebook. I get on Facebook shops. I play with Boost on regular marketplace. These helps. The Boost on regular marketplace for sure works better than like the ads on Facebook shops. But I think they both work. It's just it's a slippery slope, because our margins are so tight. So sometimes running an ad might be not beneficial to you because it will just not make sense. You'll spend more on the ad than the profits you get from the sales that come from running the ad. So it's a slippery slope. You got to be careful with the ads. The boost seems to be working better. Regular marketplace seems to be working better, at least from opinion of other people. I don't really use regular marketplace, but I know that there are people that do, and it seems like it's a consensus. A lot of people are agree on it that regular marketplace is doing better than the shops right now. And the thing with the shops also, since I'm on the topic of shops, I think you gotta treat your shops a little bit more like a social media page too. Like you gotta Facebook actually gives you, when you go on your phone and you go to your Facebook shop, you can see like badges on your shop. Like Facebook will give you a badge like, oh, your page is getting high engagement. Oh, your page is getting a lot of followers. Oh, your page is doing that and that. Like they look at this stuff. They track your attention span and the people that follow you. So having some sort of content, engagement, I think it's important too. And I think with the content, like a lot of people say, oh, what should I post? You can literally just post memes, and that memes are highly engaging. You can find them everywhere. There are no like copyrights on memes. You can only copy whatever meme you want from anywhere and just post it, and that's your content. You can create a meme page that has a Facebook shop and works great. And guess what? You can do this on Instagram and then connect the Instagram account to your shop. So it's like another whole world. And anyway, yeah. What was the question? I forgot.
No, man, awesome. Always, it's great to get this different perspective from different people. I mean, this is why we do the lives. This is why we like to get together and collaborate, because you get different takes and you get different points of view, which is really kind of the best way of learning, right? And so you have different solutions that you can kind of test out yourself. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I was going back to my original question about whether or not is drop shipping quote unquote dead on Facebook. I personally don't think that it is. Again, the summer, tend to be, slower months. What's really, I think, Patrick, what's really going to be the biggest test here is going to be when we start heading into that, Halloween time of the year, heading into, starting of November into, Q4. I think that's really going to be the biggest measuring stick to see how broken things are on Facebook, or really that there is potential, and that it is the time of the year when consumers will be out there buying, even though a lot of people right now are trying to save money or only spending on essentials. But when that time of year comes around, just people tend to spend so much money, and I think during that time of the year we're really going to get a better understanding of where we are with Facebook as a kind of viable platform for, like, drop shipping, or is Facebook shops really going to be just kind of another stream where you'll get kind of a couple sales here and there, and you'll kind of complement it with other platforms that you're selling on, as a drop shipper, whether you're doing Amazon or Mercari or any other marketplace that you're in. I think that's really going to be the biggest indicator to us. So we are talking slow sales. We are talking about, how we can maybe make these things better for the community, through our own experiences. So, Patrick, I know you are in marketing, it's your background. Um, in your, private Discord, which I don't know if we have it linked, but we'll link it. Guys, be sure to check that out if you want to. But there's information there that you've published, you've been, curating, and one of them happens to be that a calendar, right? That kind of outlines, and I think you briefly touched on this, at some point during the live already. But summer tends to be relatively slow to some degree. I think you also mentioned this in your private group, and again, if you guys want to get more kind of like more information that maybe is not being discussed within larger groups, or information that's coming from exclusive information that's coming from other drop shippers, right? Definitely, consider Patrick's private Discord. But where I'm going with this is basically that, you know, it's been shared, in the group that, summer months, tend to be slow. So, with that being said, there are some products that, might do well, versus others. I think we already touched on that as well. So, Patrick, do you want to give the people like I don't know, maybe a peek or maybe something a little bit more specific, for maybe things during the summer that might be helpful? We know evergreen products. We talked about that, and before I go back to you again, Patrick. So evergreen products, for people who don't know, are products that tend to send kind of year round. These are essential products. These are products that you're going either to the grocery store or maybe to your local Walmart, and you need to buy them every so often, like replenishables. Those type of products. Um, and those are great products to sell, I think, this time of year, and it might help with the slow sell discussion that we're having right now. Um, but because we are in the summertime, I guess I don't want to put you on the spot on purpose, but are there any kind of winning like summer product that you think might do well? I have one in mind that's been selling well for me right now. I mean, I'll share it with everyone here. But I wanted to ask you first, Patrick, if there was any particular summer product that you think might be a success right now, or a great buy for people to sell.
What's been selling for me consistently in the past since like May, it's been luggage. I think people still travel and they're looking for like cheap luggage, and Facebook is good for that because a lot of people are still not aware that there's something like Facebook shop on Facebook, whatever. They don't understand that, and they think a lot of people that go on marketplace, they think they're buying from like people locally, and uh, luggage is like a local product. Like a lot of people think like, oh, this guy has it in his closet, let me buy it. So like luggage. Last year for me, a big one were bikes and kayaks, and July was actually my best month last year. So that's also surprising. And I think that the thing with that was that, again, if you're selling what people want to buy, it doesn't matter if it's slow or not. Like you just need to find what people are looking for right now. So I would say luggage for sure. But I think the focus should be more, as you mentioned, all those like replenishables, because people are looking for products that they want to buy instead of like, and they saw an ad and oh, it's like a cool shiny figure or something. Like I think people don't look for these like cool gadgety stuff. They look for products that they actually want to buy. So like luggage, I think people are traveling right now. People got, we got pandemic. So people are finding like we're this is the first summer after the pandemic. So people are gonna go crazy, travel everywhere, even though it's super expensive right now to travel. But people are just so desperate. And yeah, luggage is a good one. Try bikes again. I think bikes might be a good one too, but I would focus on those replenishables as you mentioned. And I think you have a better experience with replenishables than me. You seem like you've been doing this for a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, I saw a ton of replenishables on eBay. Not so much on Facebook Shops or Facebook Marketplace, but yeah, replenishables are great items if you're not already listing them. And I think this is a way to kind of combat, slow sales to an extent. Now, what has been selling well for me has been camping tents. So
Oh,
camping tents, and these camping tents that I'm drop shipping, they're in the $130 range, and I've sold a few already. Now they're not like a huge bestseller, but I have sold a few already. So, something to consider if you want to try something out. Definitely look into camping tents. And the great thing about it is that there's different variations of it. So you can list, different ones, different colors. They have different uses. So you can really kind of go crazy with the tents. So that one really has kind of taken off for me. And if you haven't yet liked the live, then please go ahead and like. And if you are not yet subscribed, then please consider subscribing, to my channel. And then obviously, check out Patrick's channel and also subscribe. So that was our plug. We haven't plugged anything yet, so we had to just kind of get that in. Otherwise, I don't think we'll be doing our job as YouTubers. Um, so
We got a comment about someone is asking what are replenishable examples. So do you want to explain it, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, so a good example of a replenishable is if you buy your like Mach 3 razor blades. So each of those blades, get used up over a period of time. So you have to replenish it, right? So that's a replenishable. Toilet paper, it runs out, right? You have to replenish it. That's another. Paper towels, it's another type of replenishment. So examples like those are what replenishables are. Items that you need to rebuy every so often. Toothpaste, mouthwash, and all those things are replenishables.
Can I read one more comment?
Sure. I mean, I'm glad we're getting comments. Let's go through them.
So Abed is saying dropshipping is not dead, but the key is product research. And can I answer this one, because I have a really well designed thought in my mind. Abed, I think you're right. Like, product research is for sure like factor in this thing. But I'm gonna go back to my previous thought, and this is the philosophy that will apply to a lot of stuff, like consistency. Like, literally, because think about it. Even if you find a great product, right? You did your product research, right? You found a great product, you listed. Very often with Facebook, it's kind of random if it kicks in or not. Like, it might kick in, it might not. It's luck. Like, it's literally luck that some of your listings will kick in. But how can you increase your luck? How can you increase your chance of something kicking in? Well, you can just list more, right? You just list more. And if you stay consistent, let's say 10 listings a day, you increase your chance of being lucky in one of the listings to kick in. So product research for sure. That's like a, what do you call it? Hard skill. I think so. That's the terminology. Soft skill, consistency. Like, it's building a habit of being consistent, doing this every day, or I don't know, every 2 days, whatever you want to, whatever your schedule allows you to. That's the major factor. And consistency will help you with anything, any business, any dropshipping, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, consistency, you do something, you believe in this, you consistently try to produce results, and you will get them. You will get the results, because you increase your chance of having more listings. You increase the chance of finding one that's like gonna kick in, and it's a good habit to have in general.
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, building good habits is a big part of being successful in anything. So yeah, I would totally agree. I wanted to kind of go back to something that we've kind of covered already, and it was so I mean, still relating to the topic of slow sales, and it's, to me, it's kind of benchmarking. Like, how do you know if you had a good month 2 months ago compared to today? Like, how are you as an individual dropshipper? Like, if you're saying that you're having slow sales, how are you benchmarking? Like, how are you tracking your best months compared to your poor performing months, right? And I think that helps, right? So if you're not doing it, I think you probably should. You should start tracking, how are you doing month to month. You should set up, some goals for just tracking in general. And as an individual dropshipper, as a dropshipper in general, just set a goal. Like, what is that goal? And kind of start increasing that goal little bit by little, right? Because very early in the beginning of the live, we were talking about myth versus reality. When it comes to sales in general, when you're drop shipping, and a lot of people kind of get enamored with the fact that, yeah, I'm gonna make, $5,000 in sales a month. I'm gonna make 10,000 sales a month. And when you don't meet those goals, you start getting discouraged and you start like, oh, slow sales. This thing doesn't work. It sucks. Drop shipping is dead. It's a total scam. Blah 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 blah. And it's not necessarily true. But if you start to track, monitor, and benchmark and track your goals, I think that's a better way to approach it than to focus so much on, oh, it's low sales. So, I would say, hey, make your first $100 like net profit. Like focus on that. Make $100, right? And then once you hit that goal, then start preparing to how you're gonna hit $200, and then you kind of build, little by little, you start doing that. So you kind of take the focus away from I'm stuck on slow sales to how much am I earning and am I hitting those goals, and that's gonna be a lot more positive for you, right? It's gonna keep you encouraged. It's gonna keep you wanting to work harder. It's gonna keep you wanting to keep scaling your shop, and it's gonna make you think and be more creative about how to continue to product research and navigate this up and down of issues that are happening right now, with Facebook. So I just kind of wanted to hash that one out because I think that's as important as worrying about why there's low sales and let me kind of point the finger at something to blame it because my store is not doing well. Um, I don't know, Patrick, if you want to add anything else to that.
No, I think I agree. Like I when I started doing this retail dropshipping thing, I was really disorganized. I was just like, oh, let me just sell whatever. Let me see how it goes. I didn't have any goal, like you said. But the moment like you set up a goal, I want to make, I don't know, $2,000 a month. Just the fact that in your head you have this idea in your head that you want, that's the goal you want to do. You will start looking for ways to make it happen. Your brain, if you're that's your full focus, your brain will start giving you ideas on how to make it happen. Hey, maybe I should open a new account. Hey, maybe I should list more. Hey, maybe I should look for less saturated products. Whatever, you will tinker. Like once you set up that goal thing in your mind, you will try to find ways to execute it. So setting up goals helped me a lot for sure. Like it's okay if you don't reach a goal. Let's say you have a monthly goal of getting those $2,000 a month, whatever. It's okay if you don't reach it, but if you tried your best to achieve that, that's already like that's a big thing because you learned something on the way, just like you mentioned, and you try to achieve that goal. And guess what? Maybe you didn't achieve this goal this month, but next month you'll find a way to do it. You will figure out. So yeah, I it's weird because I'm not really into motivation and stuff like that. I'm not really like a big motivational stuff, but I am. I find the goals to work really well. Like if you have a clear idea of your mind, what are you trying to achieve? Eventually, if you are consistent and put a work, you probably will get there. I'm saying probably because a lot of people get discouraged, but like if you stay on the path, you will find a way to get on the top of the mountain that you're trying to climb.
100%. So, all right. So I know a lot of you out there, may have a lot shorter, shorter, time frame as far as you kind of just want to get in, you want to make a couple sales, make some money, and kind of be the end of it, right? You're not really focused on or growing a business or scaling. You just kind of want to have a consistent source of income coming in, through drop shipping on Facebook. And I completely get that. I understand that a lot of you are in that frame of mind. Not everybody is thinking long term, grow a business on Facebook. So for all of you out there who are in that side of the drop shipping space, I think we have some possible like short-term solutions that I think will help you, so that you can actually hit those goals. And I think Patrick has already touched on some of them. So I know we kind of already are approaching the hour on the live, so I want to make sure we cover this before we do end it. And again, another reminder, let's like the live, let's get some likes up there, and check out our channels, subscribe, all of that stuff. If you think you are finding value in all this information, which I think hopefully you are. So possible solutions, Patrick. So I think we might have touched on this one. Maybe we can go into a little more detail one by one. Is to start drop shipping from some lesser known retail suppliers. So I think we all are, in love with Amazon and eBay. I think they're great. I think the argument is out there that you can find some other suppliers, especially on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, right now, I think not anything you throw up sales, but I think that for the most part, you can test different suppliers as long as the supplier itself doesn't restrict you from doing it. You can find other products and list them, and they'll probably sell, and you'll be competing with a lot less competition. So I don't know, maybe like a minute or two, Patrick. Your thoughts on that as a possible solution?
I mean, that's I'm 100% with you. Like wholesale is harder, but it opens up a different doors and it gives you advantage on the market. If you're the only one selling that product on the market, you're getting all the sales. So yeah, I agree. Find suppliers that are not as popular and use them.
And I will give you a quick recommendation of where you can find them, and they're already kind of been dropship friendly. If you're not familiar with SKUGrid, okay, SKUGrid is a software company. They do offer a stock monitoring and repricing across multiple platforms. They have a highly curated list of, I think it's hundreds or not, about 1,000 suppliers that they support. So you can go through their list and you can look through them, and they have different niches. They have, tools, sporting goods, general stores, arts and crafts, automotive. I mean, you mentioned it, they have it. So if you're having problem looking for new suppliers, I recommend you go to SKUGrid and look at their list of supported suppliers, and you'll find something there. So this one I think we touched on already, and it was creating multiple Facebook shops. I mean, I think this one is critical at this point because every shop behaves differently. I myself have 2 shops that are live right now that I'm drop shipping on. I have another one in the works that hopefully I'm going to get approved by Facebook, hopefully in the next couple of days, if not sooner. So I'll have 3 in total. So I think the more shops you have, the more opportunity to convert and make sales. And I think that the argument can be made that sometimes new shops tend to do well in the beginning because they're just kind of giving you that new traffic. Again, there's no proof. I cannot prove this, but it seems like when you have a new shop, you kind of get that traffic your way. I don't know, Patrick. I know you kind of touched on this already. I don't know if you want to add anything else when it comes to creating more Facebook shops as a solution here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this because I feel like I already talked about it, but I'm gonna say this: the drop shippers who make like $5,000-6,000 a month doing retail drop shipping, they don't have one shop.
I agree. Yeah.
So that's all I'm gonna say here.
That's all that needs to be said, Patrick. I mean, I like that, like to the point. Okay, so other possible solutions for the slow sale issue. So I think we kind of briefly touched on this. So definitely better product research, and I think someone might have also mentioned this in the comments as well. So I guess what I would say about this is that be mindful of what's happening in the market as a whole. I mean, I know as a dropshipper, it's kind of difficult to think outside of just dropshipping, but understand that there's other factors happening around you that are indirectly impacting what you're doing when it comes to dropshipping and selling in general. So just being mindful, paying attention to trends. I mean, even if you go to your local Walmart, just see what is it that they're putting in front of the customer. Like, what do they want them to buy? Like, just being mindful about that. Keeping an eye on when you go to the for example, Amazon on their homepage, they advertise certain products that, right? because they have the data. They know what customers are clicking on. They know what customers are wanting to, buy. So that will help your product research. So being mindful, just being aware of those things can help you and give you ideas as to what products to research. Um, like we said a couple, well, not a couple, but a few minutes ago, those evergreen products are really the ones that you maybe want to focus on if you are having that issue with slow sales. Now, I will say, if you're not having issues with slow sales in a way in which it's not significantly impacting your earning, then you're doing fine. There's really nothing for you to change. So just continue, business as usual when it comes to what you're doing with your product research. But yeah, those evergreen replenishables, definitely items for us to consider. Um, I threw this one in there, and if you're providing good customer service, I think that's also important, and it can help you, to some extent. So, if you're providing products that people like and they're giving you good reviews and they're giving you good comments that is a good quality product, you're getting recommended. So the likelihood that you'll have repeat customers, I think, will increase, and it should help you kind of weather this whole slow sales issue. Um, so Patrick, I think you touched on this as well with regards to clickable images and making sure that the images that people want to click on, it kind of garners attention. Those lifestyle images, I know you talk a lot about them, Patrick. They've really worked with you with your listings. So all those things, are possible solutions to consider right now to help you navigate this slow sales issue. If any of you have any suggestions, let us know down in the comments. Maybe there's something that you guys are doing that might help or work for you. If you want to share with the rest of the community, please let us know. It'll help your fellow dropshipper. If you want to, help them kind of navigate through this. And I guess the last thing we have here is that, our optimism says, Patrick, that, this thing, it will get better with time. What do you think?
I think there's a reason why Facebook shops they don't charge us anything. There's no fees. And the reason being is that this is all a testing phase. They are trying to figure out things out, and they use us as a lab rats to see how the Facebook shops experiment is gonna work. So they're trying to bring more sellers to the platform. So yeah, I think things get better, and the economy hopefully will get better too. So that's another factor, I guess, that will get better hopefully.
Yeah, so I guess the better, I mean, I'm sorry, the biggest measuring that I think we're going to see here is going to be that Q4. So if your Halloween items take off, then that's a good indication, I think. If we're selling
Yeah.
a ton of decorations and costumes come, October, I think it's a good indication that we're kind of, back to, normal, selling habits with consumers, and hopefully prepares us for a very good, Q4 and Christmas.
Yep.
Okay, so we are fast approaching the hour. I don't know, are there any other questions before we sign off?
There's one question someone asked.
Let's go
Can
for
we
it.
create more shop on same IP or prefer a VPN? Do you want me to answer this?
Yeah, go for it.
So the thing with the shops, like you can open shops using your personal profile. So you can open shops using the same profile account. That's totally fine. Actually, that's probably preferable if you open everything in one account. And yeah, you probably want to have everything on the same IP address. Regarding VPNs, this is a broader topic, but VPN will not protect you from restrictions if you are abroad. That VPN doesn't protect you. you either need a virtual machine or a proxy. Those are the things that will protect you. VPN doesn't protect you from getting restricted or bans, because Facebook knows VPNs. They know which IP addresses are VPN IP addresses.
Well said. You're becoming quite the expert with VPN and uh,
Because I talked to all of these guys, and yeah, I started to understanding this more now.
awesome. So do we have any other questions? I want to kind of make sure we kind of answer them before we end it. Be fair to everyone.
Dean is saying that customer service is important. He said that he's getting a lot of amazing reviews. Always answer customers as soon as you can. True. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
those are good habits.
Yeah, good customer service will take you a long way, and that's something that you can control as a drop shipper. You can go the extra mile, and it will definitely help. Yeah. Okay, guys, so we've reached the hour mark on the live. Sorry for the early technical difficulties. All my fault. I'm an idiot doing these lives. I'm figuring it out as we go along. It's a lot easier when you do kind of the solo project when it's a collaboration. But nonetheless, it was a fun experience. It was awesome to have you, Patrick, on in this live. It was really fun. I think it was a great conversation. And hopefully all of you did find value in the live. And hopefully this is something to come on a more frequent basis. I think we're kind of testing it out, and we'll see if you guys love this. Then we'll be here on a more frequent basis, kind of in a collaboration effort with Patrick, covering different topics on dropshipping, and hopefully to help you guys navigate this craziness that is Facebook Shops and Facebook Marketplace dropshipping. So again, if you haven't liked the video, please like. Subscribe to Patrick's channel. His channel link is in the description. I welcome you to subscribe to DanielSellsOnline. So thank you, guys. It was good to see you. And Patrick, I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.